What's going on? This is API Phone Help, and today I'm going to show you how to replace your battery in your MacBook Pro. For today, I'm going to use the mid-2010 MacBook that I have, and we're just going to get right into it. Alright, so the first thing that you're going to do for replacement is you're going to first power down your MacBook Pro. So in order to do that, we're going to go up to the Apple sign, and once we click on the Apple, we're just going to go down to shut down, and a little pop-up box is going to come up, and just click shut down. Okay, so for this replacement, you are going to need two different screwdrivers. The first of which is the Phillips head 00 screwdriver. And then the second of which is going to be either a TriWing screwdriver or a very small flathead screwdriver. I have found that the flathead screwdriver does work to get the TriWing screws out, but the TriWing screwdriver obviously is the preferred method. For this video, I'm going to show you the way to get it with a flathead screwdriver. That way you don't have to spend the extra money and get the TriWing screwdriver with your battery set. Alright, so once you have your MacBook completely powered off, you're going to flip it to the other side. And you're going to take out the 10 screws that are located up here at the top and the sides here. So all 10 of these screws, they are all Phillips head 00 screws. So the first ones that I start with is just the sides here. And I just place them to the side. Then I go up. And all of these screws located here, 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 and here are all going to be the same length, which is very, very small, as you can see those screws down there. These screws up here at the top, these three, 1, 2, and 3, are going to be all a significant amount bigger. That is longer. So you can see here that that screw is a lot longer than the ones we already have. So there's going to be 3 of these longer screws, and all the rest of the 7 are going to be those shorter screws. Alright, so once you are finished getting the screws out, all 10 of them, you're just going to slightly lift up. I usually do back here where that black bar is. That's where your signal for your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth stuff is. I just lift up there, and the bottom cover of your MacBook should just come right off. So this part here is where you're going to find the TriWing screws. They are located here and here. Now in order to do that, you must have a TriWing screwdriver. Yes, it helps, but you could also use a very, very, very small flathead screwdriver, which is actually what I've been doing. So if you just try and put a flathead screwdriver in there, you might notice that, you know, it's very difficult, but if you have a small enough one, it will work. Alright, so the first one I typically start with is going to be the one located here on the left. And like I said, you can use a very, very small flathead screwdriver. It does take a little bit more patience and a little bit more practice to do that with, but it can be done. Now there is the first of the 3-wing screws, and let's move on to the second. Alright, moving on to the second of the TriWing screws. It's going to be right here, located beside this barcode, right to the right of it. And if you just put your flathead screwdriver in, you can definitely see that I can remove both of the TriWing screws. Now the one on the right here is going to be a little bit longer than the other one, but that's how you can tell the difference. The right one is the longer one, the left one is the shorter one. Now the next step that we're going to do is going to be back here on this right side again, and we are going to be removing the logic connector, which is this piece right here. And all you're going to do is just take your your flathead screwdriver and just slightly lift up on it. You're going to do this very softly and very, very carefully, being sure not to mess anything else up. And as you can see, it does start to be lifted up. And then I just take my fingers and pull it back. And that's all there is to it. Once you have that done, we're going to lift up on this transparent tab here. And if you just lift up on it softly, you can pull the battery right out. Now, once you lift it to about a 45 degree, you're going to slide it up this way towards all the, the RAM and the logic board. There we go, and it just slides right out. Alright, and all we do to put the new battery back in is just follow all the steps in reverse. So once you have your brand new battery, you're just going to hold the battery at about a 45 or so and slide it in underneath these 3 prongs right here. Once you slide it in, just hold it by this transparent little piece of plastic here and gently let it back down. The next step in doing everything in reverse is going to be putting the connector back on. So all we're going to be doing for that is just sliding the connector back in right here where it was before. And once you slide it on, gently press down, you can feel it pop into place. And after that is finished, all we're going to do is put back all of the screws that we had out. So the first one that we're going to do is the longer of the 2 TriWing screws, since we are over here, and that just goes right in there. And we grab our screwdriver, and we're going to screw this back in. Now for these, remember, you can use a TriWing screwdriver, or if you want, you can just use a flathead screwdriver. Both of them work just the same. The next step that we're going to do is we're going to put the second of the TriWing screws back in. So if you just place it in there, and then we're going to take our flathead or TriWing head screwdriver and screw it back in until it is firm. Now if you're doing this with a flathead screwdriver, make sure not to tighten it too much because you don't want to break the screw or strip the screw. That way you can always replace the battery if needed. Alright, so the last thing that we're going to do is be putting the bottom plate back on, and that is just going to slide in. So the first thing that I do for this bottom plate is I put the top part here back in first, and everything else should just slide back into place. Now all we do is put the 10 screws back into place. I typically try and do the 2 side screws first, followed by these 2 top long screws, followed by these 2 bottom short screws, and then these corners lastly. This is just all in personal preference, so however you want to screw them back in is up to you. Once you're done screwing everything back in, the last step is just going to be flipping it back over and seeing if it powers on. And all you do is press the power button and make sure it turns on. And there we go. That's everything you need to know for replacing your MacBook Pro mid-2010 battery. Alright, I hope that I was able to help you guys out in replacing your battery for your MacBook Pro. I know mine is pretty old, it's a mid-2010 model, but it still works really well. The battery was just getting really bad on it, to the fact that I could not use my MacBook for more than like a half hour or so. So it was definitely time for me to upgrade the battery in my MacBook Pro. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that button over there to subscribe, and make sure you check out the channel every Monday for new videos. Alright guys, thanks for watching.